For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live. Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to talk about Mars in 5th house, and we are going to see two situations. One, if Mars is good and well placed, making good yogas in 5th house, then what kind of auspicious results it can give. And second, if Mars is afflicted, weak and making some negative combinations, then what kind of bad results also Mars can bring in 5th house. We are going to see both these things. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is shown in the description. So we are going to discuss Mars in 5th today. First situation which we are going to talk is what if Mars is well placed. So by well placed, I mean that Mars is in own sign, exaltation sign, friendly signs, and the zodiac sign in which it is sitting, the lord of that sign is well placed in the chart, and and the lagna lord, sun and moon are strongly placed in the chart, because lagna lord, sun and moon are the pillars, are the controllers of the strength of the entire chart. If they are not well placed, other planets cannot give results. So if they are supportive, they are suitably placed, and Mars is falling in 5th house in a good sign, and it is making good combinations, like it is sitting with other planets which are Kendra lords, Trikona lords, then it will be much better situation. So Mars in this case can give quite good results if it is well placed or is strongly placed in the 5th house. So if Mars is sitting in 5th and making good yogas, then first thing is that 5th house is the house of learning, knowledge, education, intelligence. So Mars can show here that it is very suitable, very good for learning, knowledge, intelligence, and having good education in life. But Mars means self-efforts. Mars is a planet of sincerity, constant actions, relentlessness, competition. So Mars here shows that person will have that qualities as well, that the hard work, the efforts, the dedication which is required to have intelligence, have learning, have knowledge, and perform well in education, that will be there as well. So person not only gets a good level of education and knowledge, but also they are able to do it because of the factors or because of the traits which Mars provides within their personality. So it is very suitable for having good education or learning, but through self-efforts. Next, it also is suitable for certain fields, particularly in terms of education. It can be for the career as well, but you need to see other combinations. And Navamsha chart also plays a very vital role. Let's suppose in the Navamsha chart also Mars is in 5th house. Then also you can see that these fields are good for education depending on other combinations. So first of all, STEM fields, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, they are very suitable. Mars controls them. Then field of law, management and administration, and it is also good for creative fields, sports, and Mars is also supportive for life science and medicine if the yogas are there. Mars technically does not control healthcare, medicine and life science, but other planets like Sun, Jupiter, Moon and Ketu are influencing, and combinations are there for that. Then Mars will help in those fields as well. So these can become a really good fields to study and to work in if combinations, other yogas are present in the chart. Then Mars in 5th house. 5th house is the natural house of Sun, because it is the natural sign. Leo falls there, so Sun controls that. So Mars in 5th house can bring very good results if it is well placed. So it makes person ambitious, and it gives ego or arrogance of knowledge. That is Mars nature. Sun and Mars in 5th, they show that they give you knowledge, they give you learning, but they also bring a certain level of arrogance, certain level of ego, that I know these things, I'm in some way I am more superior to other people. So that kind of even a fraction of ego or subtle ego or full-fledged ego or arrogance can be seen in 5th house if Mars is there. So ego and arrogance of knowledge can be seen, but it brings accomplishments in life also. It can show academic accomplishments, and it can show professional accomplishments as well. So for that, Mars is very supportive. Then Mars here, as I mentioned, it's good for bringing progress in career and profession, because 5th house is seen for dignified positions. So if other combinations are there, then it can show that it can give you good roles, senior positions in career, and a name, whatever your field is. So I'm not talking about just everybody is not going to be world famous, but it's like you build a good name for yourself in the field where you work. So Mars is good for that in fifth. Then fifth house is the house of relationships, particularly romantic relationships. So Mars, Venus, and Moon, and Rahu, they are supportive, very excellent planets for having opportunities for relationships in life. But remember, Mars in fifth house, if it is well placed, Venus is not damaged and afflicted. It shows that it is not only, you need to see other combinations. Remember, you need to see other combinations, how Tithi Lord and everything is there. I'm just telling in general that if Mars is in fifth and other yogas for having relationships are there, then Mars can provide good opportunities to have romantic relationships which sustain. Mars, if it is bad, then it won't sustain. But if Mars is well placed in fifth, the fifth lord is fine, Venus is fine, Tithi lord is good, then it shows that the relationships which happen in life, they sustain for a longer duration. They can convert into marriage also if the yogas are there. So it gives a strong foundation in the relationship, whatever the person has. So it gives that sustenance, survival, commitment, seriousness, dedication in the relationship, if it is well placed. So that is a good aspect of Mars. But Mars also makes it more passionate. That is what Mars is. Mars is lust and passion. So Mars person will have that notion of attractiveness, that means to find another person for relationship, that will be there, but it brings a sincerity as well. So that is the nature of good Mars only. I will talk about the bad Mars later. Then it can show a person, because fifth house is your learning, and ninth house plays the role for belief system, because whatever you learn, that later on forms what kind of beliefs you have. So Mars, fifth house and ninth house, they play a very vital role in shaping our beliefs. So Mars in fifth house can show Mars is a rigid, adamant planet, stubborn. So it can show that some kind of judgmental attitude can be seen. Like, what I think, my way, my thought process, my belief system, my ideology, my knowledge is the right way, is superior, is always more better than other people's views or perceptions. That kind of attitude Mars has, because Mars is sometimes, most of the times, incapable to see the big picture. I'm not saying that it cannot, it can, but Mars, it's like Mars generates element of ego. Ego means you are not able to encapsulate the perception of others easily. Ego means me, my identity. So Mars tends to bring that. It has its good aspects also, but the negative or the con of this side is that it tends to bring some judgment in your belief, some prejudice in your behavior, and it tends to bring a notion that my way is the right way. Mars in fifth house can also show person who is quite authoritative, demanding, controlling, has good leadership skills, and fifth house is the house of children. So it is good for having children. But yes, Mars can show children which are there, which are born after certain delay. Delay can be there. Okay, so after certain delay can be there, but it is good for having children. And it can show certain troubles while having the children, means during the pregnancy or the childbirth process, some kind of difficulties, but ultimately person can have children. Then it can show fifth house is child, so it can show a person who is quite strict and protective parent towards their kids. And if strong spiritual yogas are present in the chart, then Mars is very favorable for spiritual life, religious life. Particularly, it is excellent for following Raja Yoga, means the path of meditation, path of mantra, path of Karma Yoga. So that depends on the chart. But yes, if spiritual yogas are there in the chart, then Mars is good for following the path of meditation and the mantra, Raj Yoga and the mantra. So Mars is good for that. So these are excellent results for Mars in fifth house. Now we're going to talk about the second situation. If Mars is in the fifth, but it is afflicted, let's suppose it's in enemy signs, debilitation sign, it's not in Neech Bhanga, the zodiac sign in which it is sitting, the lord of that sign is badly placed in the chart, then in the Lagnesh, the ascendant lord, sun and moon, they are not well placed in the chart. So chart is getting weak, strength is gone. So what will happen? Mars will function negatively, and it is associated with 6th, 8th or 12th lord, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. It is getting fully combust, or in Mrityu Bhaga, in Navamsha, it is badly placed. So what does it show? That Mars will not have that much strength. It will have maleficence, and it will have capability to bring a lot of problems in life. So what kind of negative results can be seen? Now we are going to look at that, but you need to see the chart in totality. Don't jump to conclusions. Till then, just take it as a source of information. So if Mars is weak, damaged, afflicted and making bad yogas in the 5th house, then it can show 5th house was teaching, learning, education. So it can show severe problems in learning and education. Either the person can have certain learning disabilities, certain problems, certain delays are there, or it can show person who is not able to concentrate, has poor performance, not able to understand the things easily. So that can be one thing. Then, or it can show a person who is not at all interested in studies, because Mars technically is not the planet of academics. So if Mars is badly placed, it can show a person who is not very much inclined towards studies, if it is badly placed. And it can show poor academic performance, misdirection, incomplete education, or learning issues of any kind. Then it can bring it can bring traits which also play a role in creating problems in life, particularly in education, like no consistency, no discipline, concentration is not there, decision making is very poor, misdirection is very high, and you tend to blame other people and situation and find excuses for your own failures. That can be seen. Then person has a characteristic of irresponsibility, leaving things in between. You don't complete them. Even if you start something, you don't complete it, leave it in between. When the things get tough, the person leaves the thing in between, and they tend to shift the blame or find excuses for that. And it can make a attitude of being irresponsible, non-commitment to any kind of duty. That can be seen. If Rahu will be there, it will be further more advanced. Then but again, you need to see it's the situation where Mars is badly placed in 5th house, and Sun, Lagnesh, means Lagna Lord and Moon are gone. They are not well placed. Then 5th house of relationships. So now what will happen? Even though, first of all, either it can show that there are no relationships, even if you try desperately, despite that you are not getting any opportunities, or it can show the relationships are there. Plenty relationships can be there, but none of them will survive. Only the sole purpose of relationship is to have some physical gratification. That is all. So either none or no survival due to all sorts of problems, or no relationships at all. So any of them can be seen, and the main reason behind that will be no commitment, no seriousness. The person does not want to take responsibility or commit in sometimes, and it can also generate a lot of fear. It can show all kind of problems in relationships where there is abuse, cheating, high lust, bad company, bad habits, toxic relationships can be seen. So you need to see other combinations. But Mars in 5th house, if it is damaged, then it can bring these kind of results regarding relationships as well. Then 5th house is your friends, so it can show bad company and habits. So person tends to get influenced by negative people easily, and you tend to develop bad behavior because of that. That can be there. Then it can show fake, shallow ego, which show off with the where you tend to please other people and have a sense of fake arrogance, but internally you want to get the approval of people, whatever you are seeking. So that self-confidence, that self-belief isn't there. That is there in good Mars. If Mars is bad, then it will show this kind of negative behavior. Then it can show low self-esteem or jealousy, bitterness, resentment, grudges, vindication. And 5th house was childbirth, so it is negative for childbirth. It can show abortions, miscarriages, child loss, any kind of other medical problems which inhibit child conceiving or childbirth in life. Or it can show bad relationship with the child. So later on in life, you don't have good relations with your child. So any of those things. So these are the negative results of Mars in fifth. So no doubt they are not good, but you need to see in totality and see other planets, other combinations, other charts, and then come to some proper result. Till then, just I have just tried here to give you a general viewpoint of a particular planet placed in fifth house, what kind of positive and negative results can be given by that, given the situation how it is placed. Okay, so I hope that you understood the situation of Mars in fifth. That is all from my side today. If you are new to my channel, subscribe below. For more, check on my website, Facebook page, Instagram. Their links are shown in description. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.